You've seen it 1,000 times. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and if you'd like to support us, head on over to our Patreon. Patreon has been, for the most part, a simple way for creators from all walks of life and many different mediums to reach out directly to their fans and offer them something special as thanks for supporting them financially. Until now. Yesterday, Patreon announced that their fee structure was going to be changing at the start of 2018 with the intent of making it easier for creators to keep more of the money that is given by their fans. The setup is pretty simple. Instead of fees being taken out of the pot at various percentages and flat rates or payment processes going in and payout later on, now there's a single fee that'll be taking care of all of that instead. There's just one problem. Instead of the creator paying the bill, now it's the patron who has to cover the new fee. This can be kind of confusing, so let's walk through an example, and I'm going to base it on our own Patreon campaign, which is in the United States and pays out monthly to our PayPal account. Non-US accounts have slightly different charges, Stripe and Payoneer have slightly different charges, but we're just going to stick with one setup to keep it simple. Now, one of the tiers on our Patreon is set at $20. Up until now, if a potential patron wanted to claim that reward tier, they paid $20 even and just walked away. Patreon takes 5% off the top, that's $1, and out of the remaining $19, PayPal charges a processing fee of 5% plus 5 cents. 5% of $19 is 95 cents, so PayPal takes $1 and the creator gets $18, 90% of what was originally spent by the patron. When it comes time for the creator to receive this cash, it's done in bulk with all the patron accounts being lumped together, and the account is charged 25 cents or 1% of the total, whichever is higher, capping out at $20 if you happen to be receiving more than $2,000 at the end of it all. This is harder to work with in an example, but for the sake of discussion, as I'm writing this right now, our campaign is sitting at $169 a month, so our fees would be $1.69. Split between 22 patrons, that's an average of 7.7 cents a piece, which is pretty negligible on an individual basis, so we'll leave this part out of the equation to keep things simple. Now, as of 2018, if another patron wants that same reward tier, first they'll pay $20, then they'll get charged an additional 2.9% plus 35 cents. In this case, that'd be 93 cents or 4.65% more than what they wanted to pay. Almost a full dollar right off the top. PayPal once again takes their 5%, $1, and the creator is left with the remaining $19. So to recap, before the patron pays $20 and the creator gets $18, now the patron pays $21 and the creator gets $19. It seems kind of pointless when you put it that way. And things get a lot worse when we start to move into lower reward tiers. Based on statistics from Graphtreon.com, Patreon currently has 2,962,629 pledges a month, and together they are pledging $10,129,886.26. That means the average patron puts $3.42 in on a monthly basis. This hypothetical average patron would see that number change to $3.87 next month, a 13.16% increase. But where it gets really bad is the most common type of patron, the $1 patron. Before now, a patron would pay $1, Patreon would take its 5% or 5 cents, PayPal would take its 5% plus 5 cents or 10 cents, and the creator gets 85 cents. Now, the patron pays $1 and gets charged that 2.9% or 3 cents plus another 35 cents. 138, a 38% increase. Patreon then takes 5 cents of the original dollar and the creator gets 95 cents. So on the most common tier, the patrons are paying 38 cents more so the creator can earn 10 cents more. Where is that 28 cents going? Oh, and it gets worse. Let's go back to that $20 example again. Starting next month, if a patron pays $20 to a campaign, the creator gets $19 after the patron is charged an extra 93 cents. Here's the catch. That 2.9% plus 35 cents, that's per campaign. So if that same patron instead decides to pay $1 to each of 20 different campaigns, the creators get to keep that $19 split evenly among them, but the patron is getting charged that extra 38 cents per campaign, or $7.60 in total. That's almost $7 difference, and once again makes the patron pay 38% more instead of 5% more just because they want to support multiple creators. Our own account supports 5 creators right now: Tess Young, who's working on the Geek Remix and Friends game Paranormal, Gerard Khalil, aka The Completionist at That One Video Gamer, the Video Game History Foundation, which is working hard to discover, restore, and preserve rare or previously lost video games, Adam Johnston, aka YourMovieSucks.org, whose insight into movies and clever reviews are phenomenal, and Neil Cicierega, aka Lemon Demon, who you might know from 2003's Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny, or maybe from this tweet where he points out that massive multi-campaign nightmare discrepancy. We currently give $37 to the 5 campaigns, and that number's about to go up to $39.83. That extra 7.65% isn't the end of the world to me personally, but it can be for many patrons. Not to mention, the way this is currently set up, that means patrons trying to support us will be paying extra, and then we will also be paying extra as we support others. It kind of starts to feel like this new system is preying on multi-campaign supporters and support chains. Now, around 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, Patreon put up an update, acknowledging that there was blowback and attempting to explain the rationale behind this entire change of payment methodology. And the ultimate reason is, well, let me read it first. Let's say you become a patron of a creator who has charge up front enabled on November 29th. You'll be charged the full amount immediately, and then you're kind of double charged that same amount again on December 1st. That's bad. Our vision for our payment system is that creators have confidence that their content will always be paid for, and patrons have absolute clarity about how much they will be charged and when. To do that, we need all creators to get the benefits of charge up front. To do that, we need to eliminate the double charge scenario that harms patrons today. To do that, we need to move our payment system to treat your pledges like any other subscription service. In other words, we need a system that charges patrons at the time of their initial pledge and on the anniversary of their pledge each month thereafter. So because some patrons are double charged for paying at the end of the month, something that could be easily rectified as simply as automatically putting up some kind of modal a few days from the end of the month, informing them of that, Patreon is upending its entire payment setup, forcing the lowest available tier to pay 38% more to offset the cost of our fees, which some are arguing will also help offset the loss of patrons in the process because the creator will be earning more of that sweet, sweet money instead. Oh, and since patrons will now be charged on the monthly anniversary of the day they paid, good luck not screwing up 29th to 31st based payment dates Patreon, that means that patrons of multiple campaigns are going to have a steady stream of money coming out of their accounts instead of being able to have it all come out in one bulk payment, and creators will have to deal with new incoming rewards to be paid out on an almost constant basis as well. So in short, Patreon thinks fewer, angrier patrons is better than more, happier patrons because creators can now save such a negligible amount of money that maybe if you start making 5 or 6 figures, you might get an extra free lunch out of it. But even despite all this, we're ignoring the most basic problem with this new fee structure. It's taking financial responsibility for the campaign away from the creators and hurling it back at the patrons. They're paying our bills, and that's not okay. I can't speak for every creator on the platform, but I don't want my patrons to have to get taxed for using the Patreon service to support me and my team. I don't want to be saving money at their additional expense. Now, maybe I'm coming off as a bit whiny and entitled, so I'd like to offer Patreon my solution to this big festering mess. Leave the fee system as is. Patrons shouldn't be covering the bill and the gratuity. Leave the fees to the people who are ostensibly raising money for their work. Charge patrons the exact amount they intend to spend on the monthly anniversary of the day they choose. Hold the money internally until the 1st if the creator decides that's how they prefer it, then pay it out to the creators, minimizing fees on all fronts and simplifying everyone's lives without making the patrons who are already giving us money out of the kindness of their hearts pay more. Or just leave it the way it is and find some different way not to screw over our fans. I don't know. As for this channel, well, there's not a lot we can do right this second. Perhaps this video can help shed some light on the issue and maybe give patrons and creators alike an opportunity to think a bit more about what to do next. One possibility, and something we're implementing for our own channel immediately, is that we're going to be decreasing the cost of each of our reward tiers by $1. The math works out that in the end, patrons will be paying less than they currently are as a result for the same rewards. For anyone curious, this dollar discount stops becoming enough to offset the charges at $22.42, and every additional dollar at $34.48 increments beyond that, so shift your prices accordingly. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can really do about the $1 tier except explore other possible patron support venues that won't gouge out its most loyal customers and consumers, which we are also doing immediately. I hear the guys at Game Wisp are pretty rad, maybe we'll check them out. And if there's anyone who's starting to feel anxious about their $1 pledge becoming a $1.38 pledge and that becoming too much, feel free to drop the pledge. We completely understand. Trust us, if there's anything that we can do about it, we will find out and we'll make something happen, because this whole thing is kind of bullshit. I hope this video has been enlightening, and I suspect that I can speak for a good chunk of Patreon's user base when I say that I hope they decide to change their minds and go back to the drawing board. Either way, we're going to be following any new developments that come along, and you can follow us at DownrightDPad on Twitter, where we'll probably be trying to sort this thing out in real time. Anyway, thanks for watching.